No allegiance to any political party, organization, institution, or individual. Freedom FM 87.9, your best choice.
National radio is a disgrace to you. I expected you to rebut what he said, but it is true. You know how money you are living by begging, and you acknowledge it. Stanton was very boastful to say, LeBron don't know why. You know, during the second round, I had a press conference that all my insulin battle boss. My insulin battle did not boss. Let me appreciate all the nurses, the doctors. When right after my press conference, I received insulin that can sell.
Wagana baby, waga gay money. Yeah, yaga ja fresh came. Yaga ja fresh came. Yaga fresh came.
So just have a jacket to ask Waga, we got the money for I give it as a
yes. And I got no right to waga that baby. Huh?
But now president, anything do people sort of know they please get the money from
no.
What me ask?
No. And that's supposed to be that.
How is already?
And that's supposed to be that.
How is already?
And you cannot get no right to Waka. You must give me the money account or either where you get the money from and blah 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 blah. Wow. Waka say where you got?
Oh. So I get for money being getting very so.
Yes. The trouble they want from that ass ball. That him let me very. But who now in the country? That I tell it there.
But people can be happy when you get me saying that thing. It can make the leaders there. Maybe I can one corruption. I won't be seeing the money.
Again, make me happy. The first game I tell you get today. Not sada. What na baby? What gay money? Yeah, you got your first game. You got your first game.
Oh.
Yeah, that first case.
So just have a jacket to ask Waga, we got the money for I give it as a
yes. And I got no right to Waga that baby. Huh?
But now president, anything do people sort of know they please get the money from what me ask?
No. And that's supposed to be that.
How is already?
And that's supposed to be.
I used to give Joseph Waka, I used to give it to him. Ambassador Waka, it's a disgrace and a shame to you to become vice president in 12 years, for 12 years, for all the number of time you work in government, to have Stanton then bringing you to public ridicule, to be saying on national radio, it's a disgrace to you. You shouldn't have accepted that. I expected you to rebut what he said, but it is true. You know how money you are living by begging, and you acknowledge it. Stanton was very boastful to say, LeBron
Wagana baby, Waga gay money. Yeah, you got your first game. You got your first game.
Oh.
Yeah, that first case.
So just have a jacket to ask Waga, we got the money for I give it as a
yes. And I got no right to Waga that baby. Huh?
But now president, anything do people sort of know they please get the money from what me ask?
No. And that's supposed to be that.
How is already?
And that's supposed to be that.
How is supposed to be?
And you cannot get no right to Waka. You must give me the money account or either where you get the money from and blah 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 blah. Wow. Waka say where you got?
Oh. So I get for money being getting very so.
Yes. The trouble they want from that ass ball. That him let me very. But who now in the country? That I tell it them.
But people can be happy when you get me saying that thing. It can make the leaders there. Maybe I can one corruption. I won't be seeing the money.
Me, again, make me happy. The first can I tell you get today. Now start that.
I'm tired. I'm tired. I find Farabu anywhere here today. I swear to my damn mother. Anywhere I find Farabu, as I stay here, as I leave this place, anywhere I find Farabu, I will attack him. And you can carry 10 armen, 200 armen to go defend him. Anywhere I find Farabu, if where they say today, I will attack him. I'm moving with men. I'm going to get 25 motorbikes. 333. That's 75%. Wherever Farabu move, I will move there. I'm done. I'm done. I'll make you the game for you.
Wait,
Yo.
yeah, for us.
Where is someone's face now? If I put it on the immigration officer that they can use, you know, continue to terrorize my people, and then what I will today. I will mob you to death. Answer it. You're arrest me.
Wait, let it respond.
We hear your observation. We will pass it to our senior manager.
Thank you.
And what I want you to understand, Faramu is that the final decision maker.
He should not be anywhere right here to terrorize my people.
Faramu and myself for the meeting where they assign us here. He and myself.
He got nothing to coordinate here. I'm not.
So if Faramu
Maybe you don't know me. I'm a fucking old rebel. And that's how I protected my people, and that's why I made them elect
Let
me.
me ask you.
I want you to get one or two more. Please stop that. Sorry for the time of waiting. I can assure you.
I used to give Joseph Waka, I used to give it to him. Ambassador Waka, it's a disgrace and a shame to you to become vice president in 12 years, for 12 years. For all the length of time you work in government, to have Stanton there bringing you to public ridicule, to be saying on national radio, it's a disgrace to you. You shouldn't have accepted that. I expected you to rebut what he said. But it is true. You know how money? You are living by begging, and you acknowledge it. Stanton was very boastful to say, LeBron don't know why. You know, during the second round, I had a press conference that all my insulin battle boss. My insulin battle did not boss. Let me appreciate all the nurses, the doctors. Right after my press conference, I received insulin that can serve me for 2 years. Then I came to myself, I said, LeBron need me, I must stay here. I'm not going to call names, but I appreciate all of you people that call me, all the nurses, all the doctors. People drove to this base to bring me insulin because they wanted me here so we can have a change. Those are the people I'm talking for. I'm not talking for y'all that sat in America. Hold y'all say, I left my good job in America to come where you are not doing no good job. You better take them before I change my language. You are not doing no good job in America. They were pushing cartoon like other people and cleaning all people like other people. Why you can't stay there and do your good job? Why you running in laboratory? You're fighting over job. You can't even reconcile to form a government. I see you're running to bomb me for retreat. Oh, voter in the country today. You want to make decision for Liberia. It's wrong. Ambassador Bwaka is wrong. You told the Liberian people you don't have money. Our laws are very clear. It's because today, now that Joseph Bwaka win, they carry you like I carry my son to the tailor shop to go sew a uniform and taking measurement and put it on Facebook. Joseph Bwaka, why are you treating yourself like this? People hold you high esteem. What people want to prove? I don't want to carry Joseph Bwaka to go sew trousers. You know how trousers before? You know how suit before? It's a disgrace to you, Joseph Bwaka. Your embarrassment with this kind of situation. You need to stop it. People are bringing things to you today because you're in the president.
Waka baby, waka get money. Yeah, you got your friends coming. You got your friends coming.
Oh.
You get first case.
So just get to ask Waka where you got the money from. I give it.
Yes. And I got no right to Waka that baby. Huh?
But now president, anything do people sort of know they couldn't get the money from?
No. Oh. No. It's not supposed to be that.
How is it supposed to be?
It's not supposed to be that.
How is it supposed to be?
And you cannot get no right to ask workers, you must give me the money account, or either where you get the money from, and blah, 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 blah. Wow! Workers say where you got.
Oh. So I just for the money being getting very soon.
Yes. The trouble they want from that ass boy, that he made me very. But who now in the country? That I tell it there.
But people can be happy when you get me saying that thing there. It can make the leaders there. Maybe I can want corruption. I won't be seeing the money.
Me, again, make me happy. That first came there. I tell you, you get today. And I start that. What I get money? Yeah, first came there. You got your first came there. You got first case.
So just get to ask Waka where you got the money from. I give it.
Yes. And I got no right to ask Waka that baby. Huh?
But now president, anything do people sort of know they couldn't get the money from?
No. And that's supposed to be
electronic and print media. They use every means to promulgate dirty propaganda. So they take advantage of that and they spread their own dirty propaganda to outpower us, to outsmart us, to dirty us around the world. So investors cannot come here because you want to come. They'll be afraid. That's their intention, not to allow investors to come. So they do all kinds of things to destroy this government image. That's what I know. Because this government cannot involve itself in killing people. President Joshua, when he became president, he opened a church.
In more recent time, and just over the weekend, Ambassador Joseph Boakai made a statement that people shouldn't take men's job and give it to boys. He's a boy taking over a man's tax in the presidency. What do you make of that?
Two things I want to say. That statement doesn't go well with me. If Mr. Weir is a boy, then I think he's a good boy. Because Joseph Boakai, former Vice President Boakai, dropped in his heart, he collapsed, almost died. It is that boy, because George Weir, who ran there, pick him up, charter a plane to fly him abroad for open heart surgery that made him to live today with pacemaker battery. He's a battery total right now. So the battery is controlled by the white man who gave it in the medical center where he was flown to. So maybe he's not well to speak the way he's speaking. He's not well. He's using battery. It's not normal. A man who is using battery and a man who has a natural eye, compare the two. So Joseph Boakai, the former vice president, he's using battery. He's a battery total. Such a man cannot even be president of this country. He's sick. So maybe that the frustration making to speak the way he did, calling the president boy. So Joseph Boakai, the former vice president, he's using battery. He's a battery total. Such a man cannot even be president of this country. He's sick. So maybe that the frustration making to speak the way he did, calling the president boy. So Joseph Boakai, the former vice president, he's using battery. He's a battery total. Such a man cannot even be president of this country. He's sick. So maybe that the frustration making to speak the way he did, calling the president boy. How many million people voted that boy? So many millions. Look at this boy and you elected him. Maybe you call George Weir boy because of the age. Because Joseph Boakai is over 70 and this boy is about 50 something. So when you say boy, well, that's it. But boy in the sense of immaturity, no. George Weir is mature. He's mature. That's why he told Joseph Boakai on the ground where he collapsed to fly here, bro, for medical checkup, for medical heart surgery. That's what made him to live today. I think Joseph Boakai, in conclusion, should be very grateful to that boy who flew here out of the country for open heart surgery that make him to live today. But the way Joseph Boakai speaks, the way he acts, he is one of the 9 ungrateful lepers. The fact is, you could have even know you, but he did not. He saved this old man. But what the old man is returning is ungratefulness. Call this president boy. You call the whole Liberian president boy, then you old man, you told him battery around here. I cannot look at a battery man and elect you because any minute you could collapse. But you already say you want to be president and we know your record. You're on the time bomb, on the borderline.
Just sitting and laughing at reading the comment section. John Balu said the reason why he's in this is to save the state. Save Liberia. But Senator Balu was senator when in his county, 5 wonderful Liberians gruesomely murdered. Their bodies were mutilated. He didn't say anything. A colleague who was then a senator, whose name is enshrined in the TRC report, whose testimony you can find everywhere, that allegedly carried out a massacre on the Kavala River, became a senator from in jail. He came from jail. That case died in Maryland. Senator Balu was senator. Senator Balu was senator when Kid Juba was killed. Senator Balu was senator when the Fula man was beheaded in River G. Senator Balu was senator when the 17 young men were killed between Lower Magidi and Grand Bassa County. Senator Balu was senator when one of the people who funding all of his effort was giving Intergenet Hosmer money and squash car to lobby for him to move on traveling ban and access free. But today, we say he wants to save the country. Senator Balu was senator when Bridgeway from London came to do prospect in Liberia. Senator Balu then got vehicle and money.
Balu la Brian Villa senator.
He thought on saving Liberia then. You know, sometimes some people sit on a particular platform, and this is the reason why the argument is going to get big this few times. Because look, there's some.
I don't think I can do this. It's against my faith. I can.
Agostina.
I don't want to do it.
Agostina.
Yeah.
You can't put me in any situation that I can handle. Don't do it to me. You can't put me in any situation that I can handle. Don't do it.
Liberia then. You know, sometimes some people sit on a particular platform, and this is the reason why the argument is going to get big this few times. Because look, there's some.
I don't think I can do this. It's against my faith. It's against my faith. It's against my faith. I can.
Agostina.
It's against my faith. I can.
Agostina.
It's against my faith. I can.
Agostina. Situation that I can handle. Some situation that I can handle. Situation that I can handle. Some situation that I can handle. Some situation that I can handle. Don't do it to me. You can't put me in any situation.
Yeah.
You can't put me in any situation that I can handle. Don't do it to me. You can't put me in any situation.
It's just sign and say, and ask them what the name. And so you pointing them to say, I name this. But if you don't ask your people, then what do you carry to them? So before I ask them what the name, and what the name that we're taking them to them.
Your 3 major priorities.
Right now, if you look at I'm a teacher in profession. You teacher? Yeah, I'm a teacher. The second thing is that we want the Boris autonomous.
The Boris what?
These are developments we talked about. Hope is now setting in with the political climate over. And you can now see the reality and believe it. If you never used to believe it, I guess some of you never used to believe it and now believe it, that it's ongoing.
If you are autonomous, you have everything to do. And if you look at the men, you have to work.
It did not make sense at the time due to the political cloud. But now I think it's making sense.
So, at what level were you teaching?
Because realities don't lie. We have left that fever, we have left that period. And this is what it is now. Many of you can now see what we are talking about. It may not have made sense to you at that time, but it's now making sense. Because maybe you may have gotten what you wanted, or what has stood in the way, made you not to believe what we said, you can now believe them. And this is our country. We always said something we were saying, there were things we were saying, we did not say them because we have any personal attachment or so forth. We were saying it as we saw them or as we are seeing them. You can see it now. It can still be talked about in others. These are stories that will continue to be told. Lies are inconsistent, they are brief-lived, while truth never dies. It will live on and on. So that's what we are telling you, and these are things that we always used to say, and we'll continue to say them. At least today, development will now make sense because leadership has changed. So we'll now see that those messaging that we used to give out there that did not make sense will now start making sense to some of you folks who did not agree with us at the time, and these things were realities and they were happening. May Sarah was on his role, trying to give some analysis about ongoing developments. No one really cared. Some of you didn't really care to listen. You saw it as being political. Today, I don't know whether I'm still political. These are realities and so we are driving from here and a little stretch from our Power One Station. On the Power One Station. You are. It's great joining us tonight right here on this very diet. And so we are grateful to the Almighty God that we are beaming with life and that of good health. And this is me. This is your professor, your teacher. And of course, we're right here together on this very diet. And welcome to the program Face the Issues, the weekend's edition of the show. And so we are grateful to the Almighty God that we are beaming with life and that of good health. And no matter what the circumstances are, we are certainly getting there. And so we are forever grateful to God Almighty for taking us through. And here we are. So let's say welcome to the program Face the Issues. On the program Face the Issues, we don't discuss personalities, nope, but issues involving personalities. When personalities do their thing in front of those issues, we don't in any way hesitate, but rather we tear them apart. And normally, usually because of the pain that we attend tearing them apart, we just tell them sorry. But that sorry does not in any way means, and we regret our actions. No, we don't. And so we are grateful and we say thanks so much for everything that we continue to do as a people. And our country is strong. At least everyone else now understanding how the country runs. And that's what I'm really, really happy about. That we all know that this country is very strong and this country is going to move forward. And we are certainly getting there. And a lot of things are happening in the country. A lot of things. Let me see. A brother of mine. Yes, well, let me see. Okay, so let me do this quickly. I'll get right back to you in no time. And let me see something. I want to get to somebody quick. I'll get to you. Just a break, please. Just a break. So welcome back, and thank you for the line. So they relate on Radio Dion Pio in Lofa County, and my own big boss, who's the CEC coordinator and chair in that part, is always sponsoring this portion of this program, always on Radio Dear Pillar. Chief Judge has everything with you, and I want to say that I'm very grateful to the Almighty God for the interest. And a lot is happening in Lofa County. The Lofians are watching, especially the typical ones. I'm not talking about those ones that are greedy to the truth and they never want to speak to the truth. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the sincere ones, and they are really fighting to see to it that it works. So I'm very much happy about that. This country is interesting. But let me say thanks to the Ministry of Polyworks and East International as well. And for the level of work done, today we were able to take a tour of the areas. And it was quite an elaborate tour that we had today. Some questions that were raised about the durability of the road and so forth here and there. How many centimeter, as they call it, millimeter, centimeter, all those meters. Then we heard about it today. And we were very excited to have seen that it was very much good. And the Deputy Minister for Technical Services and Mr. Amos Barclay and team, and rolling all. I saw great people today, technicians who are very excellent in doing their work. So the durability of that road, which of course from what we saw, and that road is in a way that there's a Korean company, and there's a Korean company that is the consultant on that road. And one good thing I learned from what Deputy Minister Mark Barclay told us as a team today there to have understood everything about that road is that the Korean company as a consultant, because they have to be independent and seeing to it that their consultancy role is to make sure that whatever diagram, whatever is given, what are the specs that's supposed to make sure that road meet up with the best practice, the best international highway and so forth here and there, everything is there. They are there to take on the liability where anything wrong to happen to the road. So they are playing the middleman role. And remember where they're from, Korea. So the Korean firm that's responsible, understanding road construction, they are also there. But what I saw today is not easy. The road is durable, and they said it's going to go for pretty close to 25 or 20 years. Yeah, that's why it is, but you can go more than that. But they said about 20 years before you can see wear and tears. After AB then will be somewhere around. I don't know how to place it. But again, that's what it is. Somewhere around maybe our 80s or something like that. Because you are 20 to me now, that will be around 90. Because I'm very old now. So that's a good route, and we are seeing it, and they were able to talk about it. I felt very, very, very much okay, and they were able to explain a lot about it. So we say thanks to its international that assured that they're going to do everything they can, and every other bodies or institution responsible to see to it that our road is right in tight. It worked to the best of it, and all Liberians who are working there as well. I want to say thanks to all of you. You are doing quite a great job. And we'll say thanks to all of you. So the video is on our page. You can go there and see the video, the route, Pound 1 station, right after Pound 1 station. You just go in from small. They have asphalt pavement and a first layer of stretch that goes as far as what they call, I don't know how to call the place. There's a place. Okay, it goes to Disco Hill area. So Disco Hill before branching now going. That's where it starts for now. But there are still construction works ongoing on that road. Yeah. So I think we are certainly getting there. And by the grace of God, we will get there. That is our country. So that's why I was telling some of the people in the live video, I say, these are the development things I was talking about prior to the election. You were insulting me. But today I was talking about, you couldn't see on my live, they started insulting me, or they were not insulting me again. The very people that used to insult me now that development is making sense to them. You see how Liberian people are deceitful? For every time we went there, we're saying, oh, this is what happening to the country. This is what happening. We insulting, saying all kinds of things. Because they have won election now, they got election now. I went back after election on a sitting, carrying live and doing the same commentaries. None of them came there. None of them. Because they don't see reason to condemn me anymore. So that the kind of people will wake up and make me to think that I'm not doing the right thing in this country. That the kind of people, you can't tell me, say, hey, people just talking about you. So in what way are they talking? Are they sound people talking about me? Are they talking about me? Then you must be concerned. He say, AB, you don't even know how people are shameless in this country. So that the kind of group of people must be talking about me, then you be worried about me, and you say, oh, AB, this, that. Look, leave it. Nothing can happen. And I don't have time for people. And I think the truth will always be the truth. Whatever I say about the road, I can still say today, 3 to 4, 1 year into Bwaga's administration, I can still say about that road because it's consistent. That you are condemning it. You say the people are stealing the money, substandard road. I don't know how you will call it now. Because you're not coming to roll back everything that they ever did on that road from here to the junction. You're applying on the route now. Enjoy yourself on it. That now it makes sense to you. Because election is over. So it's making sense to you now. That the kind of people there must be talking about me. Then you in the community, you say you should be even happy said that they're talking about me because they are not sound people. They will come to their senses one day when the reality sets in. Now, the kind of people. But anyway, we are certainly getting there. So we are very happy. So today, a lot of things are happening in this country. The asset declaration issue, I understood that the National Elections Commission put people names over so forth here and there. But I also saw the Front Page Africa did place my bossman name there. Yeah. But my bossman is in compliance. And I can tell you for sure he's in compliance. You can go and check up with the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission. He's in compliance. And then the National Elections, the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission also made errors on some people's names down there as well. So for the fact that they can make errors on people's names down there, and one of such persons who are affected by the errors made by the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission by putting their names up, especially when they have done their duty, and is the Assistant Minister of the Ministry of Transport and Assistant Minister of Administration and Insurance. So that's Gertrude J.D. Williams, and she was able to confront the LACC. And in the exchanges which she shared with me, they said it was an oversight, and they are deeply sorry. So by Wednesday, they will rectify it. So she had already declared her asset and so forth, her asset. So she has already declared that. So she's in compliance. But her name was placed there. You know, our country, when people just see things, they don't check behind, they don't verify and so forth here and there. So she's one person. So I would just like to announce to you that it's clear that she's in compliance. She's from the Ministry of Transport. She's in compliance as well. And I think we will certainly get there, and no matter what the circumstances are. So she's in compliance, and that's what I can say. I think she had wanted to provide clarity, but yeah, I've done well for her. Let her leave it. It doesn't matter what they call. We will be able to clear everything, because for us, we talk the truth, and people believe in us. So just leave that thing. Once we talk it, said they believe in you. You say you can't trust it, they will not. But Liberian put all kind of thing. But but it is very much good for us in this country. People are concerned about the repetition, which is very much good. So whatever people call in their names, though, they want to speak to that, and it's very much good that they do that. And we are getting there. Let me tell you something again. I come into something. So, students, before I forget, oh gosh, I want for you students, those of you who can read, and I want for you, I'm giving you an assignment, and that assignment will look into it on Monday. And that will be the first thing we'll do on Monday. And right after that section, then on Monday by 9 o'clock, we'll be joined by Y. Michael Gilman. This time he will be my guest and not host. He will be my guest. He's about to depart the country. As to when, I can't tell you, but he's about to depart the country. And he's going back. He wants to wish you people farewell. So Y. Michael Gilman will join us on Monday. He will rejoin us. I'm going to say he will rejoin us on Monday. So the Digging Deeper man, he will rejoin us on Monday. He's about to return to the United States of America. But before his showings on the show, so the first thing we'll start with, so you got to come to class too early on Monday. And I will start too early on Monday because of that, because Mr. Gilman should be able to join us in. So I will start too early on Monday because of that. So because Gilman will be coming, but before that, let me give you the assignment. Go and study about it and read it. I don't like to be on the show here. Then I hear talking anything and then students don't understand the topic. I don't like that. Recently, Amara Corner wrote something about Animal Farm. Animal Farm is a book that is written by an author named George Orwell. We all did those books. We read through it. But it didn't make sense to us during those times. We thought we were just reading it for grace. But those books, and that's what I like when I'm a literature teacher, I like to tell students the intent of the book. Even in my administrative law class at the AMB Zion, I always lecture the students deeper into understanding how did that entire law set come about? Where did it come from? Because if you don't go outside of just what you have in the book to really explain to them what's the rationale behind this whole thing, because the rationale of that course, if they don't get it, they will not find interest in it. It is the rationale that makes them to find interest in the course. So you must first tell them what is the rationale behind this course. They will find interest in it. So that's basically what I do. So if you're teaching literature, if our lecturers or teachers could just tell us what these books were about, we have started learning about politics ever since. Because these books were written because of something that happened. But they just came to just narrate a story, tell what happened. It is not all to it. Tell us what is the intent. What was that man writing that book about? If you really do research on those novels, there are certain reasons for even songs that people make. There are certain reasons somebody singing a song. And if only you can go to the reason of the song, you make people to find interest in listening to the song. The people don't just sit and just write songs. No, that something can lead them to writing those songs. So they write those songs, and the reason behind them writing the song, if you were to explain it, you make people to get more interested in listening to the song. Yeah. So the books are written with a huge rationale. Little did I know that these books, it has to do with the French Revolution, the Russian Revolution, and so forth. And then we got all of that. And today it is still applicable in Africa. There is something that happened in Russia, but it's about leadership, power, control. How to do revolution with change, with an intention to change. And after they have executed this revolution and they are now in power, the very things they say they wanted to change, they started going back to the old order. And you now see them start chasing out some of their friends who want to see to it that they go according to what they promised the people. They start chasing people. The reason I'm asking you to read our book of recent, there are characters that you will study in our book. One, Omeya. Omeya is the one who had the vision, the dream for the pigs, the animals. How they're supposed to be treated, that they have been suffering. Omeya had that dream. Omeya passes on that dream to the ranks of the other colleagues who were in his class category, the likes of a Napoleon, you have a Snowball. They were there. These were the elite guys that could be just next to Ome. Ome is a peak. Snowball and that of Napoleon also peak. So the peaks were the guys who were smart, honest to the politics. They could be the politicians, right? Now, Ome, something happened. There's something. I will explain to you everything. Ome dies. Now is Napoleon and that of Snowball now in charge of the revolution. They led the revolution. They got successful. They had their 7 commandments that all male and dream about how they need to live. Who are those who are our friends? Who are those that we shouldn't go against? What we shouldn't do? All those things that they had, those laws, those dreams and everything. When they got in power, something changed. Napoleon changed. He and Snowball fell off. Napoleon decided to use the rebel then that he trained to chase people out. And I'm even hearing a United Party now as we speak, they say born again training people. So that United Party will start chasing out people. That's same thing Napoleon did. To chase now, we have already identified, okay, O'Meara not there. So let's leave O'Meara. We have identified Napoleon. Napoleon is Joseph Boakai. The rescue mission, because the pigs, the animals, they wanted revolution. That revolution was meant to rescue them from the hands of men. How men have been ill-treating them. So they wanted that rescue mission. So that's why it is. So please go and read it again. We have identified Napoleon. Napoleon is Joseph Boakai. So when you're reading, just look at Napoleon and look at Joseph Boakai. Then when you go read that book again, please identify Snowball. In this case now, identify Snowball as Yeke Koruba. Play Yeke Koruba in the place of Snowball. Then you will know what happened to Snowball. When you know what happened to Snowball, then you know. Then you come back Monday, we'll explain the story. That book, a good book, we'll explain it to you. You don't worry. There are small things that will be captured in our book. You know, that's that book. A book is what when I'm finished with that book, any high school student who follow the show, you'll go back to your professor. I won't go back to that book again. When I'm finished with that book, when I'm finished with it, even the literature teacher who been lecturing that book, they will go back and say, no, I think I need to go back to teaching students something again. Let them understand it. Let them know what this book is really about. When I'm finished with that book, go and read it. Animal Farm. Go and read that book. It's written by George Orwell. Go and read it good. Or you can go on internet, just read about the summary of it. Maybe you don't have the book, just go Google, just put it the Animal Farm summary. Just put it there, Animal Farm, the summary of Animal Farm. You feel it. It's what you call, you can just get concept because I will come Monday to explain it. Don't worry. We've been identifying Napoleon already. We have identified Snowball. We'll identify all of them one in our book. On Monday, we'll throw light on it. And we'll certainly get there. This country will be correct. You don't know the country will be correct. You get to when we came up and say the country will be correct. For this country to be correct, we will be selfless. We will not be greedy. Don't be greedy and be selfless. You will make things happen. Some of our parents, they were selfless and they were not greedy. That what made us to go to school because they tied their stomach. Anybody who would tie their stomach was something, they always achieve something. But people who can just eat bufuyama in the street, they get money, they just eating it all in the street. They don't achieve anything. They don't build houses. They don't have anything. They just get ready to eat it in the street. They get it, they eat it, they get it, they eat it. They don't do anything. They tell these zogos, eat, get it, eat, get it, eat, get it, eat. That's why it is. So people who tie their stomach and say, I will do this, see their lives. Like our brother talk about the foolers. When they come, they control their dancer, they control their dancer, they control their mouth, they control down. They make it. You just got to exercise some control and don't be too much jolly. Be selfless. Go through pain for some time. You can worry. There's no leader who let all kinds of things and let eating body say ego has landed. That kind of leader there. That leader will be begging all over. No, beggars. That leader that can just beg all over the place and say the ego has landed. That kind of leader. Not correct leader, but anyway, we're getting there. So we'll get there, and so we are certainly getting there. We appreciate that. Tonight, I'm about to explain something, and I can tell you for sure that the Honorable Secretary General of the Coalition for Democratic Change, Mayor Jefferson Tamakoji, is expected to be featured on tonight. I'm going to call him up, and he's going to speak to some things, bad signs. But first, before we go to bad signs, let me do due diligence to our old man, how they call him, Nathaniel Bowie, the man who is directionless. The most directionless lawmaker ever in the history of Liberia, who doesn't know what he wants, where he's going, how he's going on. He came back to provide what he calls clarity, to state that the 5,000 they receive as bribes and not 25,000. But the funny thing about it is that to show that it is a bribe. In fact, I believe that old man still not saying the truth. Something not just right. But let's leave that one. You know, every time I listen to my brother show or Julius J, it's one of the shows that I listen to outside of our shows here at Freedom. I listen to his show, I follow up on his shows, his analysis. We have thoughts, we have alignment in thoughts about this country, how we want the country to go. So I monitor his shows, and a few of my friends, I monitor their shows. But I monitor his show, especially when he hosted Mo Ali, and then asking a question about what was the intent of the meeting. And so forth. He said, Mo Ali said clearly that there was no time that they discussed any money-related issue because the rumors were out that people went to dish out money. So he said there was no time that they discussed money matter. But when Bowie came with his 25,000, the Mo Ali then came by and said, no, not 25,000 or 5,000. You see, Mo Ali, he doesn't have integrity. That's one thing about him. He doesn't have it. So as a result, he can lie. They make a disown belly, whatever it is. So as a result, look kind of man, and I'm somebody to even trust. He can say anything. And the only thing I respect him for, let me tell you, he may get a basa. The only thing I respect Mo Ali for which other young people can do, is he's tied to his party. He believes in his institution. Mo Ali was hurt in the United Party. He didn't leave to say he's going to join the CDC or start doing business with ANC. Mo Ali stayed on until a party won. That's the good side of him. But the bad side of Mo Ali is that he can lie. He doesn't have any good integrity, and he doesn't have the kind of good moral rectitude to really speak to anything. But he has that one when it comes to commitment, party discipline, or institutional discipline. I give credit to him for that. You know, you can't take away from the man, whatever it is. I respect him for that. And I think some of them, this is what he has that other people don't have. And I think we will certainly get there. So Nathaniel Bowie said 25,000. And I understand that some people are saying that he can't remember saying 25,000. What kind of a business? Our video is directionless. Grand Crew County, so that the best person you could find to even re-elect him. What did that man do? Is it the medicine he can make? Why you're scared? Jesus. Wow. Anyway, let's leave that. Let me tell you something in passing again. Then we get on to it and pick up Mr. Miyokoji. Today there was some level of successes code, and of course, it's not all said and done for other candidates or incumbent lawmakers. So there are 3 incumbent lawmakers that stay in contention, and they have their matters at the Supreme Court. Out of those 3, 2 already have been given some level of hope that they can still bounce back. So Gompo Kagon of Nima County District number 4, he soundly won with the court directing that 25 polling places. Could you imagine? 25 polling places will have to be recounted. And remember, they won Gompo Kagon with just 5 votes. So 25 polling places, and Gompo Kagon is of the CDC. So 25 polling places. All the lawmakers who are what they call the associate CDC, and Romeo Kawa, we talk about Gompo Kagon, we talk about Buffer Chambers. They are all CDC. So Gompo Kagon and that of Buffer Chambers got they will release some air of relief today, and they can just search some relief air today because there's going to be rerun in 2 polling places in Maryland County. And those polling places that we are talking about, there were recordings where the NEC officers, the way they cheated CDC throughout all over, the polling officers where they were instructed to cheat things, all those fake things that they did all over. The CDC are going into challenging this result. A different story now we're talking, maybe the guns that they have keeping this country to chase people out. they were going to bring it out. It was clearly demonstrated that a lot of cheatings went on. But anyway, that lead hour. So those places are going for rerun, and it's going to be, according to the Supreme Court, it should be held on a tight security so that the people have their will. So Williams will have to pause the celebration, and then let's see how that ends right there. That's the Supreme Court's ruling in favor of Beaufort Chambers. And let's look at Gompu Kagon also. His is there. Now, Madam Kawa of District 2 in Grand Bassa County won her case, but there was an appeal taken to the Supreme Court. We also expect hers to come up. Sekou Kane of District number 2 in Mosurado County, I think he's cleared now by the National Elections Commission, so it's now over. He's cleared by the Supreme Court. So Sekou can now say he's back to the National Legislature. He has to be certificated and so forth. That will be okay for him. And we think for sure things are very much okay for that. So let's get on to how to call it, the speakership election. I taught you people something. And I taught you guys that that is the best moment of my journalism career. This is, as though God said, Ebi, your mission, you are about to enjoy the purpose for which I sent you to that country. You may have suffered in 6 years on the CDC, struggling to make sense. You struggled to make sense. Now, this is the time for you not to struggle, but a sense will make itself. And you on a sense that will make itself. That's how God works. That's why UP people, they stay angry with me. And even up to now, they see me as their greatest threat. Not me, say, the whole freedom. I'll tell you what, boy, I don't know why you told information for you can't tell about. On closing argument, there will be no face the issue again. He will start calling me. So why face the issue? Well, let me tell you something. You like it, you close face the issue. Once you now close AB, anybody can do that program. We get men who are trained here to do the program. They are in ever readiness to do the program. Any day. They are set. You be people, you don't be worried. You get all these strong media people behind you. Why you worry about people like AB there? Oh, because we cannot be bought. That's the reason. Yeah. You know, there are certain things in this country that people don't understand about people. Sometimes you learn from other people's experience. All the people you bought and got on your side, how you did them today, they are all ruined. There are some of them you know them, they are blackmailers. You're doing business with them. You know all of the things. But people like us, the question I can ask you, which of course you can answer, is how much does one need to live? How much do you really need to live? When you want to satisfy and quench greed, that question you must ask yourself, how much do I really need to live? How much food can I really eat? So, well, I'll be laughing, then they vex. They say, hey, why you there? But I will be happy. You expect me to cry? That is the happiest moment of my life. You know, people who can appreciate you, sometimes God has his own way of making them to be forced to appreciate you. It may be something that you may not like, but sometimes God can say, hey, go sit down. And they fighting you on the fee for them to say they want to come play. They can play. You go sit down. So now you go sit down straight. The spectators will start saying, but the men are on the fee, I think I'm far better than the other men. Then they start appreciating the men who are already sitting on the bench. Something got to happen before you are appreciated. If you try all your best by yourself to explain yourself and do what you think you can do and you are not appreciated, leave the stage. You will see what will happen. Your appreciation will start coming, or let that moment pass. Your appreciation will start falling in place. Some of you United Party people, you will come to us and say, AB, sorry, we insulted you, we did XYZ, but I think you did well. I told you people that the United Party people never ready for governments. They're not ready. So troubles they are looking for. The trouble they started and wanted this government to have ended in a way, ended to have fought for interim government. That is same trouble they are still on. They disrupted. They did everything they could to say they will obstruct the president of the Republic of Liberia's constitutional responsibility that you were exercising by nominating people to the national legislature. They did everything they could, obstructed everything using the court system. And I'm not saying that the court did wrong. No. So they just did what it is. But they know exactly the intent for that is not to get remedy. The intent for that is to obstruct. So it's like a man said, injunction on a process. Okay, let me break it down so that we all can understand it. Anytime we are having an occasion, or maybe we're having election here at Freedom FM, then somebody ran to the civil law court and then filed in for the writ of injunction. And that injunction is placed on the election. Automatically, it will have to be placed. So now you have to go and vacate the injunction. At the time the placing of that injunction, the court or the judge will not have to hear from the other party. Those are ex parte decisions that are made. They will not have to hear from the other party before saying you don't go on with the process. Because the law states that when I go there and say stop this thing, this is XYZ that has happened that will injure me if you go on with this, the first thing the judge will have to preserve your right. Then that process is stopped. It doesn't mean that my only intent is to just say the assembly will not go on. Though you know in the end you have the capacity to vacate it and he has no grounds, and your lawyer going to prove that and you'll go on with the process. But what will happen is that your process will be stalled. In this case, they are using justice with ill intent. The ill intent nature of it is that this will not go. So they managed to obstruct. They didn't prevent confirmation. They obstructed confirmation hearing. That's the intent of what they did. Now, to the extent that they have come to the extent of undermining themselves. You know, because they know that the lawmakers that Joseph Boakai calling, the people don't trust Joseph Boakai. They say, how will a beggar or already the American people sanctioning people for taking money and passing around with it, receiving bribe to do this, blah, blah, blah. Already the American people can just pick on people anytime, anytime. Then they're hearing about bribe. Me, and I'm going in that camp again, send a bribe in business because the American people, they will sit down one day and say, oh, Mr. Man, you are in a camp that supported the person here and you want to call, we'll put you on sanction. The American people, you want to put it. So anybody, the way bribe now enter Kun camp, now anybody who in Kun camp, you better move from there because and then I pay for play that they're talking about because of the bribe then there that they pay for play there. That what they can put sanction on people for. That what the American people can put sanction on people for. That bribe that took place there, everybody will sanction him. That look, you see some of the things. These are things that you're doing right. These things undermine democratic tenets. Now, if the people want to hold pass on something, you don't want to pass on it, they can use that bribing thing that Bowie talked about that you're finished receiving from Kun. They will grab you and sanction all of you for it. You see, for you to do that thing to yourself, and because you know that you don't still have the numbers, you know what they're thinking now? The guys are saying that they will go to the Supreme Court to obstruct Monday's speakership election. Because they say, well, Fonatit Kofa, not Labrador citizen. Ah, God, this country. You see how the people are not ready to govern. And we told you all the people will not settle your salary issue. That just lalat in it on. They will not settle the kush. They will not settle. They're just looking for trouble. To just run away from the big promises they made to you people. You're sound people, you're silent by yourself. You couldn't think we put logic in your heads. You decided to say big people who went to school and learn. For them to sit and have the kind of poor and narrow thinking knowing that this is not applicable. These people will not do it. We said it. These people are not able to govern. They're looking for scapegoats. All the things that the who told you Boga wants to in office? Boga now, look, the mayor has collected enough. Boga has collected enough money to the extent that Boga he already fulfilled. Before even becoming president, not before sitting in that seat, Boga has already satisfied himself already. Boga has collected money from everywhere. Boga collecting money. Boga is now somebody who say, if I hey, you understand it here, so Boga has now achieved. There's nothing else you can do now. But you're waiting. Now they are undermining their own government. This is a smooth and peaceful transition, right? It's going to be the CDC now fighting to chakra everything so that Boga then will not take over, so that we'll have interim arrangement because they are on the time finish and they don't want it. So as a result of that, they will chakra everything, right? And as CDC is supposed to be doing that. That's my first time for me to see people who are supposed to have quiet enjoyment of leadership. They themselves disturbing themselves to the extent that they have brought it to the level where there may be no inauguration. You know why I'm saying that? They say they carry for Natikofa. And if they carry for Natikofa anywhere, there will be no election. You think the Fonatikova people will sit and allow that speakership election to go on in that form and manner? You think they say I want to put it aside? Say it's not about legal issue now. You sat down, this man sat there, the mayor has become representative, he contested, the National Elections Commission clears the mayor. If anybody is supposed to be challenged and their citizenship is supposed to be challenged, you know why you're supposed to challenge here? Do you know why you're supposed to challenge it? During the time of the registration, you left all the processes. The National Election Commission clears the mayor. Not only once. This is the second time the NEC had cleared him. The man was a deputy speaker. Let's forget about it and say, okay, you discovered it lately. Okay, let's agree that you discovered it. Now, what you are bringing now is trouble. You don't want to govern. You're not ready to govern. And you don't want. So if you say Fonati Kofa is not Liberian citizen, it's not strange. Boka, it is not strange because Boka sat down in Lofa County. He looked at Tomofala and misled Yeke Koluba and used Yeke Koluba to re-insult at Tomofala and say Tomofala from Guinea. Boka. So it's not strange. Boka will chase out people in this country and say they are not citizens. Look, let me tell you something. And he's a foreigner. That's one thing for sure. He's a foreigner. Certified and proven foreigner. Boka is. But I get proud with those kind of thing because of the Liberian decision they have made. It is not the first time. But you see, this country, they're not ready to govern. They're not ready. They're looking for excuses. They're looking for excuses. Eh? But it will haunt them. Monday, let's see to it that speakership election not here. And you don't want to run this country? Boka will not sit down. If that speakership election is not here, Boka will never sit down and will run into constitutional crisis. Because why? There will be no speaker. And if there's no speaker, then there's no president. And if there's no president, there will be nobody else that will take over because the speaker is going to be the thing now. Whatever. Now we're supposed to have a constitutional state. I will go there. There is Senate cabinet official who's supposed to step up, right? Then I go there. You know, these things you're doing here, so you know the party people, they are very terrible people. Their sense of reasoning very poor to the extent that they undermine themselves. People not ready to govern. They are illegitimized by the election result. Speakership election, they don't have the legitimacy. That's why I would be disappointed if people at the Senate they don't demonstrate that the opposition should lead the Liberian Senate. The ruling establishment don't have the Senate. That's the biggest disappointment you will see. But we don't care about them there because we know some of the guys then who are flip-flop and I will lose respect in them forever. And if I lose respect in you forever, don't overlook my losing your respect because I will chase you anywhere you are and I have the control and everything to make sure that I make you unpopular. And I told you about they didn't win the election. We worked. It worked. What we did, it worked. It resonated with the people. That cheating they did, I brought it here. Boka was nowhere around the presidency. Boka was nowhere around the presidency. I still maintain that. We worked. The numbers can tell you. We worked. Look at from 2018, 2019, the figures that you people are in opposition, the number of senators that you one way in opposition, you check it and see the kind of result. Just from 2018, 2020, in fact, 2020, you celebrated a lot of success here and there. From 2020 going forward, from the day CDC took the by-election in Lofa County, CDC just started sweeping all over. That's why CDC have dominance in both houses. That's why CDC dominates the entire Republic of Liberia in the counties. How can that 1,000 king, that cheating brother, won there also? But you know what? We'll not go there because the issue there is you people cheated. So we're not feeling defeated. No, you cheated. But because of allowance, that's why you are to where you are. But you know, Broga not ready yet. It's not for me to say. The people, this is our country. It's not about party business. I don't care about whether party does squad or whatever it is. I don't care about anybody. No. I think for sure we are certainly getting there. Anyway, we are getting there. So let me see whether I can, because this thing is very troubling. I haven't heard from the CDC yet on this, but I think Bwaka and the Unity Party, they are headed for constitutional crisis. They're not ready to govern. And this is their self-caused action. They're causing it. That's what I say, self-caused action. They're causing their own action. And we are certainly getting there. And we'll get there. No matter what it is, we will certainly get there. I hope to get the Secretary General of the CDC and so that what got students, I said George Orwell, Georgowell. So let me try to get to the Lord Mayor, who's the Secretary General of the CDC, and Mayor Koji, and I try to link up with him to see with all these things that are going on now, where the Unity Party is battling at all fronts, despite them winning, despite them doing what they are. And we think for sure we will certainly get there. And I think we will certainly get there, no matter what the circumstances are. So let me try to get on to Mayor Koji if I can. And if I can't, then of course, we'll continue the discussions. So you see where the country is now? And that's why those of you in the Unity Party, you're just angry with people like us. Who they shut down freedom. So if you think you are so powerful, why are you fighting to shut down Freedom FM? Why are you fighting? You're not grab me and do all kinds of things to me in this country. Some of you say I ran away, I went Sierra Leone. Some of you say I packed, I went Ghana. Some of you say you're not put me out of the country. Why you're afraid of people like us? Especially when you're felt within yourself that whatever we're saying was not important to you Liberian people. Because you know that they didn't win legitimately. And we caused you to not win legitimately. So since we caused you to not win legitimately, and it was a government, it was very difficult. Look, let me tell you, this is why you should study. It is very difficult to have a government that you claim is unpopular with the Liberian people to have gotten the result that they got even when you cheated. This is why you're not happy. So the people responsible for that to happen, you're scared of them because you know you're getting to a hot zone. And people like us who believe in the truth and will continue to speak the truth. One thing I always do, and one thing I believe in, is to speak the truth. Because I know the truth is consistent. You go, there are Unity Party people in this country. They're passing all around. Everywhere pass. Oh, they go saying we are many. Can you imagine all man there? Oh, who don't even know me, but in Unity Party, they know my name. Oh, that God saying one there because they are children and telling. And you see, I like how you people know me. And you will learn to know me well. All the things that are happening to you, all the things that are happening to you. Look, insult. Nobody will insult you. You insult, you will get it from your own people. Your own people, they will start insulting you. That thing that you get doing with you is just starting. Jaga announced that he's coming to have another press conference again over the weekend. This time, he's ready now because he sees some bugger dogs try to back at him now. So he saw the dogs, he won't put them in place. And he not putting the dogs in place. He said, you know where they are coming from. They're the owner of the dog he will attack. That's what he says. So he will go for the dogs, right? So let's agree. The real time not started yet. That your own people will deal with you because you lie to them. I see people who struggling, who will continue to suffer. People who struggling, they get father to even cater for themselves. They all were here passing around acting like when Joseph Boga win, they will get money or whatever it is. They are still struggling. They still begging for money. You see them. They are suffering continuous. One of the people that get more in power life have just changed in no time. To the extent that our lawmaker will sit and say he himself needs to be rescued too. Bowie. He himself needs to be rescued too. There is a lawmaker who's well paid. The man is telling you he has to be rescued too. But you're suffering. Some of you will laugh at you because there's nothing you can do in this country. I'm an educated man. I can work anywhere. I can do anything I can. There's nothing. All I'm doing here is for the sake of the Liberian people, and I will stay right here to do just that. And I enjoy doing it. And to you say, Jelle pastor, you tell pastor, why you Jelle talking plenty? That a main job. He likes it. So you don't feel anything about it. Just New Year Day, some of you just shouted one time. You started getting worse because that's your error. People are we sat here since 2021 with the exception of Saturday and Sunday. In fact, for the election time, we make it 24/7. We decided to do it throughout. We didn't host one day because God prepared us. He made up for this moment. So that's something that hurts us. It's just that we are happy doing it, and whatever we are doing, God is helping us to vindicate us every time. All of y'all that were insulting people in your communities and passing around your suffering self, you will continue to suffer. And now you're suffering there, that what we'll look at. And I see some of your relatives in America and who are of the CDC, but they don't have interest in coming for jobs here. You shouldn't call them again because you say the people have come to rescue you and let them rescue you. And I know most of you, and nobody whom I know that you are passing around acting that you laughing, you put your butt up or whatever it is, doing all the kind of funny thing there. You on it. You can't sit down and you say, oh, AB. I know that somebody to be AB to you. Look, once I taught you, I told you, say Proverb 28, Proverb 128, right? I read to you that I say you're good there. You're really good. Proverb 128. You're read from that 24 or something the other day. You're reading that. I said, God said he will laugh at you when your calamity strikes you, and I will certainly do that if I don't do it. Some of you now, if you're going to school, the thing in your head, you don't even know your own direction, you don't know your own future. You just sit down, you just get ready. We understand that people have to support political parties. We agree. But for you to reach to the stage of insulting other people for expressing or bringing us in, that's the part I don't like. You can support a party. And all your turning said that even including your all kind of official that I get. You don't hear me talk about them before. I don't care about them. The person whom I take as my equal, who I can be your vex, that Boga. Because I believe what Boga does has a significant impact on my life. Person like you, what do you can do to affect me? You turning, you looking hungry, you just struggling, living with power, living with this, you have aid and so forth, you still sitting down where you are, you still struggling, and I don't maybe your partner provide for you, got to go out there to be looking for some kind of meaning. And I'm going to put them on consider, they can want to go, look, let me tell you something. There are our mothers who sat and said, look, we're looking for future for our children, so that whatever condition we are in can change. That's what they were fighting for. And they were not the ones fighting for government job, they were still in the slum and there and fighting to see into it that their children progress. Some of them, they don't have children, but they were happy for other people's children, that the government was impacting the life of other people's children. They were happy for that. Some of you, what were you there for? What are you going to gain? Or to be sitting there and be opening your mouth on people say, oh, this, that, blah, 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 all the kind of thing. Anyway, we think that we're sitting together. People will feel the pinch of it in this country. People will laugh at you. People will laugh at you. They're laughing that they will laugh at you. It hasn't started yet. We know this country. I have studied this country. Liberian society, I understand Liberian society too good. And that's why it is. But we're studying together, no matter what the circumstances are. So you see, the Unity Party people now want to go down with that, and that is very much terrible. I did follow up on Dixon Sibo's page, and I was just reading it through the front page Africa that they were talking about, oh, they want to do XYZ, blah, 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 all the kind of thing. I just look at them and just laugh. I say, okay, that's good. Let them do it. And I think it will be good for them. Let them do it. So if you don't have the numbers, now you can see how they are illegitimate. They say the team that weak. The team that weak. That the team that weak that has nothing. And let me try to get to Dixon see, but yeah, okay. So I think I should have him on if he's on. I should be able to have him on if he's on. Because they are in their retreat. They are having retreat to Farmington. They are there. So let me try to get on Dixon see, but there was something he posted on his page. I don't know what necessitated that. So I just want to hear from him. On Dixon see, how are you doing, sir?
How are you?
Oh, I'm doing so great. Great to have you on. At least you're on now. Yeah, at least I'm getting you. Yeah, sorry for disturbing your time in exerting everything, because these are the final hours, final days leading towards the speaker leadership. But there was something I saw on your page that talks about constitutional crisis and so forth. Here and there, talking about desperation for speakership. What did you mean? Can you explain to the Liberian people why that post?
Well, we got up this morning and we saw on social media and we heard that the folks in the Unity Party, because of that declaration, and they know that they have got low numbers to get them to speakership, are trying to stop Cooper from running by bringing some other issues that don't make sense. I mean, human view, talking about citizenship in another country. In my view, it doesn't make sense. So I was just warning them, and the entire country, our democracy is emerging, and the entire world is envying Liberia because of what we are doing as a country in terms of democracy.
Okay.
Imagine consent. The Election Commission have not concluded counting, and the sitting president has conceded. Let us be envy at that level. The people at the other end, because they don't have the number, want to use the cost to stop Fonati from running. I was just cautioning that if you did that, Fonati as a lawyer also can do a prohibition on the entire process. What that will do, you as a lawyer or student of law will know that when a prohibition is put on the process, it means that we don't have a speaker elections. If we don't have a speaker election, it means that you are not going to have an inauguration, because the speaker must be able to call a section with a quorum before elections are held. Before inaugurations are held. So again, I was just cautioning our guys that do not get this desperate to the extent that you want to endanger the inauguration of the president. That was the cost of my post.
So you were just talking about it and talking about how the issue about prohibition and so forth. So if Fonati were to be denied and then he places a prohibition and so forth, what could be the defining factor? And here and there, because the Supreme Court could expedite some of these cases as fast as possible. But for you people, have you seen the merit of what you're hearing about? Because I'm seeing it being reported in the front page Africa already.
No. There is no merit. There is no merit. Because again, the first thing is, if you even said that Fonati is a U.S. citizen, good for you. You got to prove it. And so the prohibition will be that Fonati will be telling you, look, so on the process, you got to prove it in force that I'm in this case, a U.S. citizen. And it will mean that elections will not be held on that Monday. And if elections are not held on that Monday, that's a constitutional issue. A violation of the Constitution. And then it will also imply that if you don't have a speaker because there will be a prohibition on the process, it means you don't have a speaker on the 22nd of January, which means that there cannot be a session. And it means that Joseph Waka will not be inaugurated. That's the issue. And people need to, you cannot be desperate to the extent that you want to jeopardize your own inauguration. And that's what the guys are doing. And for us, on our account, we are clear. We have got our numbers. We are going to win. Any way you put the petition, we are going to win. We just want to make sure that they understand the ramifications beyond the actions they want to take.
Wow. But with that being said, these are scary moments for our country, and everyone should be concerned. You guys are lawmakers, and despite these kind of fights that are going on now, that we are sensing so far, you from the CDC, and you led this country for 6 years, and everything was like peace. Every attempt to have thwarted the peace we've enjoyed that we are transitioning with, and was avoided by the CDC through all of those. Does it come strange to you that our party that have won and in a country that's heavily divided is trending this kind of path? Does it come as a surprise to you?
So again, going back to my post, and that's the essence of using the word desperation. Look, this country is divided straight down the middle. President Brocker won an election with fewer than 20,000 votes. Mm-hmm. That's even less than my district.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
We need to understand that if we have a divided country, it even makes more sense for the government to be divided at that point in terms of making a balance. This is not about my party's issue. This is about collectively the opposition on one hand and the ruling party. And so I will caution our folks who are going to be in the ruling party beginning the next 2 weeks to keep the peace that George Weah has kept. To make sure that people can be having their freedom and do whatever they want to do at their own pollution. We must keep Labiola.
Okay, Oral Dixon Sibo, thank you so much. So I can hold you there and get on to the Secretary General of the CDC and Mayor Jefferson Koji. He's on the line now. So, Koji, how you doing, sir? And how's the evening with you and everything? How you doing on there?
Compliment on the season, AB, and I want to say thank you to the Liberian people.
Great to have you on, Chief. Yeah, you Jackson Sibo was just speaking something, and we saw something on Facebook, or the Front Page Africa is equally reporting something that the Unity Party is attempting to take Vanity Kopa to tax, questioning his citizenship, that he's not qualified to be Speaker of this country. And I think the CDC support is going towards Vanity Kopa. What are you people thinking? What are you reading? What is the initial reaction from the CDC?
Well, I want to reassure the Liberian people that on the CDC-led government, like we did in the opposition, we kept the peace for 12 years. We were in power, we kept the peace for 6 years. We want to assure Mr. Bwaka, the kind of Liberia he requests for, he will surely be granted that kind of Liberia. If he cannot provide leadership that the Liberian people manage to have him tolerated, he can rest assured that the CDC has given it full year support to Honorable Vanity Kopa. Not even what you call people in terror and prevent Vanity from being re-elected. From being elected as Speaker of the 55th legislature. We are doing everything possible. We want to commend our lawmakers. We have instructed them to reject the bribery that has been offered them by Mr. Bwaka. We want to congratulate them, and we want to say thank them for respecting the Liberian people. So now fall prey to the $25,000, the questionable $25,000, where sources are yet to be located. Well, Mr. Bwaka have the resources on a question. And our lawmaker, you realize that after the lawmaker rejected receiving the $25,000, now they're trying to use the code to undermine the peace and democracy of our country. We want to inform our friends in the international community they need to keep their eyes on this country, because the way Mr. Bwaka is proceeding, clear indication that he is totally disinterested in the governance of this country. He's totally disinterested in the peace of this country. And I don't think it's something that Liberian people have come so far and too long. And that's why we, as the Massive Coalition for Democratic Change, under the dynamic stewardship of His Excellency Dr. George Weah, we took the peace of the Liberian people over our quest govern this country. That's why we became respecter of the will and pleasure of our own people. But if Mr. Boakai continues to demonstrate that he is interested in peace, the first aspect that we are very disappointed in Mr. Boakai is that when President Biya tried to execute his presidential duty by appointing the Justice Minister and Sama Wokoye, Mr. Boakai sitting supportly and not getting involved allowed the Unity Party to disrupt the talks on the ground of the legislature, disrupted the peace, and they engaged into gangsterism and organism. And that was shame for the Liberian people. And Mr. Boakai, after this president, magnanimity for having president. And he is fomenting, consistently fomenting actions that get towards undermining the peace and stability of our country. We are resolved. We have called on our people. Our lawmakers want to congratulate them for their sense of resilience. We will be with fullity on Monday morning. You can rest assured. We'll be there on Monday morning, and the Liberian people cannot be prevented. There is nothing on the sun. No matter how it is, whether being elected or not elected, you can go to bed on this. We say this with full certainty that the CDC has a full support behind the speakership of Fulani Kufa. And Mr. Boakai is interested in ensuring that we sit here are Liberian. Like I said, he's been tolerated, not accepted. There's a difference between tolerating and having accepted. We did that because we think it is important to keep the sanctity and the peace of this country. But if Mr. Boakai thinks that they have manipulated, and you think by being tolerated, and you think the rest of the country is at your mercy, they are dead wrong. They are sadly mistaken. And that's what we said to them. And when you pass with your so-called rescue, it should be rescue, but no excuse. So we want to keep calm, tell our people to keep calm. You don't need to panic about that. The vote is cast in stone, encouraging and our independent friends who believe in this country, who believe in the democratic pursuit of our country, who think that this country, democracy is important, and we must be informed, we must have a participatory democracy. I don't know what kind of desperation is this. Why are they trying to keep this country hostage? Because the Boakai want to be an imperial president, and you think you have a party that won the majority of the legislature, and you try to use resources to undermine the peace, and you say you use the code. I think there is a plan of trying to set the country for different, for different actions. And the Boakai and the Unity Party need to be aware that the CDC is fully following this process. We have followed it, and we also, yesterday, the last time we spoke with the president, and we talked to our team of lawyers to examine what is happening. What we do, we're just documenting. But the attempt now they're taking and say that they are going to issue a state order on the individual and not the process. They have to show that the CDC will generously ensure that the peace of this country will be protected to the code. That will be conditioned on people infatuation and people excitement. Mr. Boakai has a responsibility to protect the peace of this country. Mr. Boakai, as the head of the person, he must look on his shoulder. He should look ahead of him. He knows that there are lives that is rested on his shoulder to govern this place. And he should not fall short of that. And these people who are around him, who believes that they can survive on his garment, he needs to be smarter than these desperate political and desperado who own their own. They cannot survive. Some of them, they have been resuscitated their dead self. At this pronouncement, they are beginning to resuscitate their lives. The father has a responsibility. We are here to consistently remind him about the governance of our country and about the well-being of our people. And that's why we respect and we believe in the faith and the courage and the resilience of the Liberian people. So I want to say to you categorically clear, Bona people enjoy unquestionably support of the Democratic Coalition with Democratic Change and its support, and want to commend our independent collaborating forces who also have refused to be brought by the Unity Party-led government.
Well, I see friends are calling me a lawmaker as well. But a lawmaker as well. But let's get on to this. You talk about tolerance or tolerated or accepted or something like that. Tolerated or accepted. Where did you draw that from? How did it happen? This government won the election as they claim. The National Elections Commission declared them. Though the percentage is something that's not too convincing. Due to maybe your executive or your leadership influence, you drop everything. Where are we drawing all of these lines from?
Basically, we want to say to you that after the pronouncement of our political leader, His Excellency Dr. George Managia, the CDC have always displayed the greatest sense of maturity in this country. And I just, when I began my conversation with you, I said to you, I'm not engaged in the political bluff. Past 12 years, our role in our opposition, it was conspicuously clear in different instances. Even in these elections, you saw where our partisans were being murdered. We saw wanton provocation and violence. But yet still, we were very tolerant, and we felt that this country has come far too long. Our Machiavellian history, the carnage of this country, we could not afford to allow our emotion to retrogress the peace we have gained in this country. So we maintained our peace. We went to the proofs. We have empirical facts and evidence that this president of access to look for the greater good of our Liberian people. As we speak to you, there are issues being raised tonight. And the reason why we not want to go further, we now are calling for reform of the electoral laws so that nobody can have an opportunity to rob the Liberian people of their legitimate votes in this country. So the CDC is a reformist, institution. Even though we have those issues, we will now turn our issue in ensuring that to reform the electoral laws of our country so that any electoral process in this country, it can be strictly protected by the laws and no individual can influence it in the wrong way. When we say he is tolerated, because it is on the basis of sympathy. Is that it is based on a condition that we have decided to tolerate him. He needs to be mindful that this country is heavily divided. You have the ultimate responsibility to reconcile this country and not to say substantially and unfounded and not to respond to the great concern that is threatening the peace and democracy of our country in the name of trying to use the code. It is the beginning of something that needs to be altered with immediate effect. Any president who is interested, who's a respecter of the Liberian people, will begin to step in and look. The Liberian people have given an opportunity, agenda, demonstrate utter desperation. And what we see happening, the fact that Mr. Parker wants to bribe the people, the fact that people around Parker are trying to tell him that he needs to have everything as one, even at the expense of the country. I think these are warning on the world. Mr. Parker needs to see clearly and not to fall prey to these desperate political, to these charges.
Wow. So you said it, and I would like you to repeat what stance the CDC intends to take on Monday. You are going there to do what? Give your support, and because that's just quite the legislators doing their thing on Monday. Why will you be assembling that? Because from what I understood from you, you are on Monday to give support in what form and faction you're going to do that.
Well, maybe I don't know how you want to term it. I've been very clear. I don't miss my words. I'm saying to you, Fulton is a member of our party. He's a member of the party. And being members of the party, he has enjoyed the support of the National Executive Committee.
Okay.
We want to say to you, he's enjoyed our full support. And he will be accompanied by the National Executive Committee of our party to watch the duty of democracy at the grounds of the capital of Berlin. By Liberians who have entrusted kind of people that were elected. They voted two group of people. They voted independent and they voted the coalition for democratic change. So we believe the independent and the coalition of democratic change might provide leadership in the legislature. There's a fair that would be a fair democracy. Anyone who loves this country, who claims to love this country, will not argue against that. If Mr. Barker argue against that, I will wonder why he said he came here to help the Liberian people. The Liberian people has spoken. You must be able to respect what the Liberian people has spoken and what the Liberian people have done.
Okay, thank you so much, Lord Mayor, for that. Liberians have listened, and your followers have listened. The party faithfuls and followers have listened. Thank you so much. We look for anything else before we give you a view.
Basically, we want to re-echo our voice to sedition. We are the party chairperson. A few days from now, we put out the committee that will get to hold a retreat. And we want to say thank you for everything you have done. You need to be, we respect your resilience, and we believe in your commitment and your fortitude. You fought a good fight. Never believe that you are defeated. You love this country. You are the true patriot of the history. When the patriot of history is written in this country, sedition will be reflected. We think we want you to praise yourself, and you are one good thing about you. Your qualities about you, sedition. You guys are not selfish. You are patriots. You believe in this country. You fought a good fight. You came. You brought people to power. People felt that things were not okay. You decided to try another group of people. You must be excited. You have your institution to run. What we would say to you is that we will not allow no one to take advantage of you. What are you in workplaces? What are you to your community? You anywhere? You can go to bed and no sedition and no Liberian rights. Though there will be no form of disadvantage will be meted against you.
But why want to downsize some of your people? Because they believe that some of the people who are employed may have just been there as a party, just political patronage. That's what led them there. So this government has come now and they want to clean the payroll, get competent people into places here and there. If they were to carry on that policy or effect that policy, and what do you do?
I keep re-echoing myself. I think Mr. Barker is interested in peace and reconciliation of our country. I do not want to jump. I don't want to circumvent. I don't want to put the cart before the house. And I think there is no Liberian is more Liberian than the other. There were Liberians who were tolerated here. They work in government. Nobody ran after them. I do not want to believe that those who are coming, they are more Liberian than those of the people they met here, or the people they met here, they are foreigners and they're not Liberian. Anything falls short of the Lord's, I can say to you, will not survive in this country. Anything falls short of the Lord, we've been muted with the stiffest resistance. You can trust us on this one. We can say that to you. So we encourage our friends. And, we have a very small country. We have friends and family across the globe. Take for example, a lot of people coming from back Lofa. Oh, you Lofa man, you speak Kisi, Mr. Parker. Let me not be misinterpreted. I got no interest to resist woman Parker and say because I'm going against this man. But it's fundamentally clear. I'm a Kisi man and Parker's a Kisi man. We differ ideologically. Parker subscribe to something quite different to this country. I subscribe to that. We have mutual respect for each other. I see him as an edited person. I respect him, and I think he has that for me. My disagreement for him cannot be misconstrued anyway. And I think I'm in a better position to help him down more than ever before. I'm in a better position. He has opted to be president of this country. What they did not do for us is that they did not support us. For us, whatever it takes for the greater good of this country, we will not hesitate. We'll be there to render the necessary support. What we will not tolerate. If people think election means, if anybody think that winning an election is a death sentence for another Liberian, then you want to say to you, you're traveling on the wrong path. There is no one is more Liberian than a friend here, and so every single Liberian right will be jealously protected to ensure that we coexist follow the same atmosphere that the other persons here. So it's simple enough. So I don't think Mr. Barker will do anything contrary to that. He wants to help. He must be focused on legacy. At that age where you are, legacy should be something that will be far more, it should be your concern. And I think the librarian point here, at that age, we want to say to you, if you want to make a right legacy, you can count on us. We'll help you to establish the legacy you want. But we sedition to say that because you won elections and you're going to parade or intimidate. I hear people calling people here and threatening people. Those people, we don't even want to mention about that. So sedition, rest assured, we're going to go for retreat. And in the retreat, we want to examine and look at some of those things that we need to add upon, and some of those things we need to change, and some of those things that need to be revisited with immediate effect. And we come back and begin to sow your own for the greater good of the Liberian people. I want to say thank you so kindly for the distinguished opportunity. Thank you to the Liberian people. To God be the glory.
Before thank you so much. Sorry, but before I take leave of you, finally, people believe that the result has disintegrated the CDC, the leadership. There's a serious collapse, and you may not find a kind of structure in place and to lead the CDC towards 2029. People believe things have gone. Despite you trying to raise the hope of your people, talking about retreat here and there, is President George Weah still thinking to be that person to lead this resurrection of the CDC back to presidency as you sense it?
Yeah, maybe I don't want to say it to you. I will not like to use your words. President Weah I'm sure it's a personal decision. At this point in time, we are very focused. We're in 2024. We are focusing to see how we can build this party. Let 2029, I pray to God if I remain alive, and then we will be able to make that decision. But at this point in time, the party is focused. The party is in 2024. The party is trying to work in accordance to what 2024 has brought forth to us. We are working in accordance to year by year, but we're not in 2029. So we hope and pray that if God help us and give us a long life, and we see 2029, what's supposed to occur in 2029 will occur. But as a party, I want to say to you, we are together. I know it is a wish and desire. People are wishing that the party will disintegrate. People are wishing that the party, because they have died, they have won an election. That is what you call a rational arrogance to think that because you win election, CDC is dead. Well, we're not going to stress ourselves to regulate your thought process about what you want to imagine about CDC. That is up to you. But our concentration and focus is very clear. We're going to focus on our party and one of those necessary things we're supposed to do, and we are answerable to our people, and there are things we think we did that was not something we consider. Those things will be revisited, and we're going to keep engaging with our people. Mr. His Excellency Dr. George Weah, he remains the political leader of our party, but we cannot say whether you have a decision to run 2029 or you not run 2029. That is his personal decision. And the party will reach, until then, 2029, the party will reach to a decision to decide whether it's President Weah or whether it's any other Liberian. But for now, we can say to you, the party has made no decision about that, and the party has no interest to second guess who's going to run 2029 and who's not going to run. Our party is open. Our party is sincerely open to welcome Liberians. There are a lot of people, even people who in the Unity Party who may feel that things are not okay. The CDC will open its doors to see how we can work together and so that we can find the final solution of the Liberian people.
I like that. Thank you so much, Lord Mayor. All right, he's the Secretary General of the CDC, the Coalition for Democratic Change. And whilst he was in speech, and Representative Francis Foko of District Number 9 and Montserrat County was just bumping, and I guess it's the issue. So let me get to Representative Francis Foko. He's right here with me tonight as well. Oh, Foko, how you doing, Chief?
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing so far, boss. Great to have you on here tonight. And it's quite a fascinating moment for us right here on this very day. I know you guys are gearing up for the speakership election, but it appears all may not be too okay. On Monday, we are hearing that your leadership or your anticipated leadership could be taken to tax and something terrible could happen. What happened? What are you sensing?
Thank you, Cousin. I bring you revolutionary greetings from the people of Electoral District number 9. Again, this is Frank Safoko Jr. And I say how's to just all of the listening audience. And Gossen, I had no but it seems like President-elect Joseph Boakai is wishing for something else in this country, and we're not going to back off from that. We have tried our possible best from the CDC to do everything humanly positively possible to make sure we maintain the peace in this country, but it seems like Joseph Boakai does not want to be inaugurated. And look, Gossen, I will tell you, any attempt for Joseph Boakai, whoever that is advancing Boakai, we have to advance him well. Those who are misleading him and he positive advice of the international community, United Nations, or the U.S. Embassy, who is very good at giving sanction in this country, we are telling them they are setting this country and they see the United Party-led government recklessly going towards leadership, and they want to divide this country. And I can assure you, any attempt for Boakai to unnecessarily interfere with our election. I can tell you, to win an election with less than 20,000 votes in this country is just a district. He should understand he did not win the popular mandate of the people of this country. He is joking. He got to stop joking. He should not take our kindness for stupidity. We mean well for the people of Liberia. This is why we turn over leadership respectfully. But if Boakai if he wants trouble, we'll give him trouble. And if Boakai making an attempt, look, citizens will be led by the CDC and United Party. I'm telling you, officially, I'm speaking as a member for the 55th National Legislature. I'm not joking onto this. I'm being moved. The recklessness of this United Party-led government, they have to stop this nonsense. Or else Monday, we're going to divide this country, and if Boakai wants to try, I challenge Boakai in the Unity Party to make an attempt to come and cross that boundary with us. We're going to make sure that this country, we're going to put our flag up, and they will put that flag up, and the United Nations will come and divide us, because it seems like the U.S. Embassy is recklessly sitting in this country, and they are not coming in. Boakai is just coming all around grabbing people. What kind of nonsense is it? Is that the kind of country you want to run? Is this how you want to rescue the people of Liberia? What kind of recklessness is it? Oh, I can tell you, Gossen William, Monday morning, in fact, I'm not wearing any official clothes. I'm going to Capitol Building with my parents, and we'll make sure we draw the line. And the executive master of the Capitol, if Boakai is not careful, if he's not able to manage this country, we'll manage this country for him. I can assure Boakai on that. Thank you very much, Gossen.
All right, Frank Safoko with that. And I think, folks, there you have it. And these are all signs, and these are all things that we can safely tell you that we told you that the CDC will wake up, and Boakai should understand that he has come to lead, and we had expected him to exhibit that. And we think for sure it will have to be the best way that he has to really demonstrate everything he can to provide that leadership. And we've seen it, and I care less how people feel about that. Let me get to just few calls, just 3 calls or 4 calls, then we close. Hello, how you doing?
Good evening, Eddie.
Yeah.
And a pleasure. My name is Edgar Sharp, and I call from Painesville.
Yeah, Sharp, go on.
So I made some few revelations. I thought that we were getting actively involved in politics and fight that. So the truth is, about now the Coalition for Democratic Change and the fact that President Weah accepted unanimously the result of the election, I thought all was settled, because we come up the bad and the living party of Benny.
Yeah.
And I was telling them I accepted the election. President-elect Boakai is a peaceful man, except that I'm trying to understand why is he so he is a unified fighter. He served as the stand-up bearer of the party, and so we try to uplift our discussion to him. Why is the United Party behaving the way they behave? Then it draws our attention. We do not want to tread the kind of a path that takes back this country from the king he has made. So our constitution said there are 3 distinct branches of government. Howbeit they are coordinated, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would have expected the implementation in terms of the educational course. The president-elect comes to the possibility of the presidency would have used. So I was talking to somebody, I said, let me tell you, you calm down. The candidate for speakership is a weaker candidate. And that's true. No way, Representative Rachel Cook can defeat Kofa. I would have thought that the United Party and president-elect Boakai would have been talking on the basis of coordination, who would serve as, chairperson focus on executive that brings about, the executive proposal and other things to the legislature, the representative, then you can work on it. But if you think that you want to widen the debate, seriously, it's frustrating.
Okay.
It's a problem. Let's keep the country the way it is and let's move in terms of harmony or else
yeah.
it's not going to be.
I think the CDC lawmakers are now speaking the way it's supposed to. And I think Friends Afoko could ably represent Moses Akaros Gray in that legislature. The kind of tune I heard from Friends Afoko just now, he's going to be a bomb. I mean, we said quickly, yeah, I don't have time and I have to be out. Yeah.
Well, I thank you. Thank you all so much, AB. Let me appreciate you for having coordinated a very remarkable program tonight. I call you from the headquarters of the Coalition for Democratic Change. I listened to the Iraq Secretary General of the Coalition for Democratic Change. And earlier I listened to the lawmaker of Electoral District number 10. From the angle of the young people, the Revolutionary National Youth League, we want to make this unequivocally and emphatically clear that this country will not be reduced to a Baka republic. This is the Republic of Liberia, and we are taking oath to defend the Constitution of our country. And so nobody from the Unity Party has any right to try to drop us down and circumvent the Constitution for going on. Honorable Fonati Kova enjoys support from the broader lawmakers of our people, and they are going to exercise that constitutional authority on Monday. And so the talks, the hooligans, and the malicious were there trying to circumvent the major legislative proceedings. The CDC will not tolerate that anymore. And there is a caveat. If Mr. Baka cannot tell us how many money he used on a house and the level of money that people give him behind the scene, Baka will not temper with the peace and stability of our country. So we're clear on that one there. I'd like to say thank you all so much for the time. We will be there. We will be representing Fonati Kofa is going to win these elections, the speaker election, on a clean democratic record, and nobody can use any sour constitutional authority to try to circumvent the process. So that Baka be there, and he thinks that the only attempt for Baka to honor his own inaugural process, we will be willing to honor that. So we'll be clear on that one.
Okay. Thank you. I mean, I appreciate that. And we said, all right. So let's get on to this caller quickly. Hello, how you doing? Yeah, let's hear from you quickly. Yeah, quickly.
Yeah, thank you, AB. Thank you so much. You see, AB, thank you for all the great work. This is William Bro. Yesterday, when I was talking about those Starbucks, those politically motivated Starbucks of the legislature, specifically the Senate, their protest was not about their extra sitting. That's what I talk. Let me tell you, Liberians should be extremely grateful for George Weah. If you critically look and spiritually look, it was George Weah who kept the peace for Liberia since we finished our Civil War 2003. Because he accepted election result 2005 brought Ellen to power and sailed smoothly for 12 years. Today, the same George Weah again is sacrificing another phase for our country to be at peace where he gave it to Baka. That's why even me, William Bro, who here wanted George Weah to win for his second term so he can leave from the surface of the CDC so people like us can step in so these people can know who born door. People need to know that Liberians, even African, they don't know what they call democracy because our ancestors were not Democrats. Our ancestors they were ruled by kings, queen. So these people are not used to this kind of thing. African men or typical African men to develop Africa, you need a dictator. Benevolent dictator. Because their mentality, let me give you an example. You see in Europe, where we live, when you whip a white child, they become more stubborn. But when you talk to them smoothly, hey, don't do this. Especially even now, why alone, don't you know who born here? Don't do that. They become very cool. That's how they move. But when you talk to typical African child, when you say, oh, don't do that, then they still become stubborn. But when you wait there and then they get quiet, that the mentality grew on in the people there. They need real tough aim before they get to know. They must be grateful with George Weah, who got the mentality of the European, that what Labrador at least. If men are Bwaka, they think they can dictate or they think they are having monopoly over this thing.
Okay.
Oh God.
Okay.
Let we are just move on the surface, then they will see the form.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, my brother. And let me get on to this caller quickly and see whether we can just squeeze in this one here, and then we'll be out of here quickly. And let me see quickly. Hello, how are you doing?
Yeah, good morning to the writing. Good morning to the news of Nigeria. I'm Alaska Day. I'll call this morning on India.
Yeah, Alaska, go on quickly. No time.
Already, this morning I'm very much frustrated.
I'm not kidding you too good. I don't know why you say very frustrated or whatever. I don't know. Hello, go on. Hello.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Elijah Mary. I'm calling from room.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe what we're seeing right now happening in Labrador is not surprising to us, more especially when we come to Bwaka activities. You know, we saw exactly what happened during the time of CPP when Bwaka stood to break away the CPP and everybody would have it was laughing around here. We saw people in Labrador. Bwaka is not coming to reconcile our country. He is coming to develop the country like peace. And this is what is going on. But if Bwaka continue to do this, why are you looking for with definitely going? But we should not stay aside because President Weah will not just continue to be mute. Definitely he will get a chance to Sidisha to exercise their right. You see, and when whatever Bwaka requests for will give to him piece by piece. You see? No more will be afraid. Maybe I'll be in Labrador very soon. If they want those people looking for, someone will return out to our right. People are suffering that long. Now Bwaka will just continue to take with the peace in our country. Why is he hates? But excuse me, as he look at the age of that old man, he's starting violent every blessed day of his life. And this I want to go in our country. Maybe this time around we are tired. We're not just going to be mute forever. Thank you very much, for what you do for that, brother.
All right, thanks so much, my brother, for your contribution. And I think we are certainly, and getting there. So we are grateful to the Almighty God. Now, at least we managed to end this week's edition of the program, Face the Issues. And we are right here. So like Koji said, like Sibo said, and Frank Safogo, and the guys are ready. And I think Bwaka and his folks, they may have survived using violence and to have instilled fear in people and so forth. But I think they have to understand that the peace and security of this country they want to govern is very essential. And it rests on their shoulders now. There are some of the things that you saw we are allowing. He allowed them because of where he sat. He cannot allow them where he's going to sit now. He's not going to allow them. There are things that certain position defines your role you play in society. Every status in society has its own demands or has its own descriptions or conducts. So if you are a pastor, you got to act like a pastor or whatever. If you are no longer a pastor, there's any way you are. Everyone else, where is living power? And I hope Bwaka understands that. Bwaka is dealing with investors. And if you're collecting money for those investors and you want to make this country ungovernable so that you will eat the people money in vain, and then I gave them the contracts for which you're taking their money, that kind of stealing you want to do for the investor. Bwaka is very smart. Bwaka has collected money for the investors and you know he's not able to give them anything. Even during the campaign time, he collected money from the people. He got anything to give them. So the best thing he will do to scare them away is to just make the country look ungovernable. So that when they call you and say, you see how the country continue looking already, project threatening, all what they play, their protests, all what, so you can't come. That the condition. Bwaka has stolen enough from these people. He has eaten money from these people. Look, let me tell you something. He has nothing to offer this country. If this man really believes that he wants to rescue this country, or in this country, he will not do these things that he's doing. But you watch out a smart in this, but we're not getting any interest in this country. Here is a man who does not have any future in this country. Then those of you who get future, you put your future in the hand of a man who's futureless. This is a man who's futureless. You place your country's future. So it's not surprising to me that Bwaka will act in an unfuture manner. Somebody who doesn't think about the future of this country. The future of this country is about peace, development, growth. That's what the future of this country is. But a man who doesn't care, the man is going to his grave. Now that man dies now, he believed he wanted to leave something with his family as package because his family were going to struggle in this country here had he died just like that. He just believed that he has gotten what he can, his children now, what they got. But this is it. If that man does not reach even 1 month, nobody will gain any pension benefit in this country and the family will still suffer. You see, these are some of the things that people must understand. And we need to revisit our laws. You must have served to a substantial level, either 1 or 2 or half into your administration before you can benefit from any pension or something. Or else, bro, that kind when they come in down, they just become president and then whatever the country takes liability. Look at the kind of thing that are going on. Let's leave it, man. See y'all, man. Let me try to leave you now. Let me try to go on and do this right here on this program. And I want to say thanks to all of you for the time until we are back here on Monday by the grace of God. But this time we'll be telling you that Fonatico has already won. And we'll be telling the leadership of the pro team as well. The Senate as well. I want to say wish you all the best. Do have a pleasant time. Bye-bye.